Thank you, Liam. And I just want to personally say thank you to our Justice Minister, Naomi, for supporting this, the Chairman of the Policing Board, Mukesh, and the entire board, and there's other members of the board here, and to the Chair of our Justice Committee as well for being here, because this is such a critical issue. And I especially do want to thank the Federation for putting this campaign together. So I came here in October of 2023, and a number of things struck me when I arrived. One of them was and I'm going to use the word acceptance in society, there seemed to be around assaults against police officers in Northern Ireland. An acceptance in society that I have not seen in now 42 years of policing elsewhere in the United Kingdom. Now, this is an incredible, brilliant place to live, to work, to visit. But this is a post-conflict society. And we know we have unique challenges. But all these years after the Good Friday Agreement, society, civic leaders, politicians, our legal structures should be safeguarding those who safeguard society, our police service. This campaign, I hope, will lead to more and more people realising that actual action has to take place, not just words, not words of comfort, not visits to officers. In less than a year now, we have seen two awful, hateful sequences of events on the streets of Northern Ireland, based on prejudice, based on ignorance. We have seen our police officers attacked in ways that I have not seen elsewhere. It cannot go on. It cannot continue. I'll do everything I can in my power legally, but I will be legally audacious in dealing with those people who assault my officers and staff. And when you join the PSNI, because of what I've just said, I want you to remember this. Every member of the PSNI, and I'm delighted we've got some people here today from the organisation and who are speaking to the media about their experiences, their lived experience. These are people who are from our community, who live in our community, who bring families up in our community, who've made an incredibly difficult decision to join an organisation where there remains a residual threat to them for joining the police service. When you join the police service in West Midlands or Greater Manchester or London, you don't have to consider your welfare, your well-being, your safety in the same way as those people who join this organisation have to. We saw with the murderous attack against John Coldwell in 2023 the reality of what that means. But those men and women of the PSNI make this psychological decision that notwithstanding that threat, notwithstanding that burden to them and their families, they're going to join the PSNI because they want to make a positive difference to society. They want to keep society safe. They want to look after people. They want to change people's lives for the better. So to accept, and that's how I saw it, that there will be assaults against police officers because Northern Ireland is different, I was told, is something I've got to tell you I do not accept. I've raised assaults against police officers with the Lady Chief Justice and judges here, and I know I have their full support. They are very alive to their responsibility, and they will deliver sentences that fit the crime when an officer is assaulted. During the disturbances last week, I spoke to Stephen Heron, the Director of Public Prosecution Service, to ensure that we have the aggravated element of any of these offences where there's a hatefulness towards those individuals that are being attacked, and that includes police officers. And later today, Stephen and I are releasing a joint statement to make it very clear around the rule of law. We will pursue, we will arrest, and we will prosecute people who assault police officers. It is not acceptable And the only way to deal with it is through strong deterrence. And I really welcome the comments by the judge in Ballymena last week, who said, if you come before this court, if the evidence is there, and we will make sure the evidence is there, that's our responsibility, you will be kept in custody. And if you are convicted, you will go to prison. Unequivocal. We're now, since last Monday evening, we're at a total of 87 police officers who've been injured. I'm going to say that again. 87 men and women of the Police Service of Northern Ireland who put themselves in harm's way. A number of those officers have been injured more than once, head injuries, where I'm saying you cannot come back to work because this is a head injury. Trying to keep them from coming back to work is a job in itself, because that vocational commitment to public service, because they know we've got the thinnest of green lines as well. We had 2 TSGs in Ballymena last Monday night. We should have had 4. People could have died last Monday night in Ballymena if it wasn't for the bravery, and this has been given to me directly by members of the community and a very emotional fire service officer. If our officers had not done what they did, people would have died. That's how incredible this organisation is. That's why the organisation, and I know there's a shared endeavour to funding here, that's why this organisation, let's forget what's gone before, whatever money is available in Northern Ireland, we need to make sure that we provide the PSNI with the numbers, with the people, the incredible people, to do the job that we all want to do in the PSNI in policing. Liam raised the issue of Zoe McKee, Detective Chief Superintendent of our Close Protection branch, yesterday in London. Those officers being injured in the recent disturbances, they should be in our communities. They're our neighbourhood policing officers. They're our officers who should be online looking at paedophiles trying to target children and vulnerable people. They're our officers who are trying to investigate domestic abuse, where we know, with violence against women and girls, the real risks that exist here against a group of very vulnerable people. And we can't do that. We can't do that because we're getting police officers assaulted. We can't do that because we have not got officers to sustain this organisation as it should have. And I just want to talk about the personal element, because I speak to all of those officers who are assaulted, every single one. They are parents of young children. They are trying to come to work to do what they need to do in 12-hour shifts and getting injured, and then trying to carry on a family life. These are not statistics. These are people. And these are people who, as I said at the beginning of this, have made a decision to do something more in this society than most people would or actually could do. So we have to protect them. So this is my promise to those who commit these crimes. We've arrested 46 people over the disorder, including in Derry. Yesterday we charged 9 more for the disorder in Derry, and I was delighted that 11 of those were arrested that night. We will be very robust and proactive in our tactics. And those young people who probably don't yet realise, they're not mature enough to realise the consequence of their choices and their decisions. If you assault a police officer, this changes your life forever. Your chances of doing things in your life moving forward are impacted in ways you really need to understand. You will not be able to live the life that you want to live. You rightfully will be known as a criminal, and you rightfully will not have access to all sorts of opportunities that otherwise you would. So don't do it. Because if you do, we'll come after you and we'll successfully prosecute you. And the courts and the Public Prosecution Service will do their part to make sure that you're not out in society to do that again. So listen, I want to thank everybody here for coming here today. This is an incredibly important campaign. And whenever it had been launched, there would have been something to speak to from this podium today about a terrible assault against a police officer. 9 assaults a day. The ramming of vehicles, lots of things mentioned by the previous speakers that are not in a normalised society And we need to move every day to a more normalised society. And this campaign is part of that. So thank you for coming. Thank you to the Federation and all your hard work and your support the officers. Every officer I've spoken to has had a call from the Federation. Every officer has had support from the Federation. This is a family with PSNI, and that includes the families of our officers and staff. It's an extended family. So thank you for being here. I hope the campaign really is a wake-up call to a lot of people. And please remember, we're there to protect you, but we can't do it if we're not in the workplace. Thank you.